Hi friends, today's pick a card reading is all about your season of receiving money, support, and opportunities. Because you've given, you've worked, you've poured into others, and now it's your turn. This is your season of receiving money, support, divine opportunities, and blessings you don't have to chase. In today's pick a card reading, we're going to uncover what's finally flowing towards you, what's been blocked, and what the universe is lining up next to restore your balance. If you are new to pick a card readings, here's how it works. The first thing that you're going to do here is you are going to pick the pile or the crystal that you are the most intuitively drawn to. We have pile 1 here with rose quartz. We have pile 2 with golden healer quartz. We have pile 3 with tiger's eye. And we have pile 4 with amethyst. You can choose one pile, you can choose more than one pile, or you can choose all of them. It is totally up to you. But when you're ready, go to the description of this video, find the timestamp that is linked to your pile, and then you can skip ahead to your reading. Thank you so much for letting me read for you, friends. It is such an honor and a privilege, and I will see you on the inside. Hi pile 1, hey friends, welcome to your reading. Let's first talk about what you've already given. Let's talk about the investment that you've already made. We have the Page of Wands, and this is all about passion, exploration, having the courage to begin, and putting yourself out there. Pile 1, I'm curious if some of you here have already invested energy and creativity and curiosity into something. The Page of Wands here can represent your willingness to try new things or share your ideas or to express yourself even when results weren't guaranteed. So think of this as the spark that built momentum in your life in some way. For example, maybe some of you here started a side hustle or a channel or a creative project and you've consistently shown up even without instant results. Or maybe some of you here have invested time in learning new skills or experimenting with different business ideas that are now laying the foundation for growth. Or maybe some of you here took social or professional risks and you pitched yourself and you networked and you promoted your ideas, and that built recognition and trust that will really pay off for you. We also have the Celebrity Sun, and this one says, I lead with my light. Pile 1, you are naturally charismatic, imaginative, luminous, confident, authentic, inspiring, passionate, magnetic, impactful, public, fashionable, independent, noble, generous, and unique. So again, this is all about visibility. This is all about you standing in your authenticity. And this can also talk about self-acceptance. I think that many of you here have learned to let yourself be seen. I think that this is the card that honors your courage to express who you are in this very unapologetic way. I feel like you've already given your light, your personality, your story, and your genuine self to others, and that's what's magnetizing opportunities now. Maybe some of you here shared a personal experience online or in your work that made others feel inspired or understood, which is attracting loyal supporters or clients. Or maybe you've been refining your personal brand or your image and you're investing in your self-presentation or your confidence, and now others are drawn to your energy. Maybe some of you here have chosen to lead from joy rather than fear, where you can embody warmth and positivity that naturally opens doors and connections. Next, let's talk about what's ready to flow in for you. Let's talk about the tangible blessings. We have the Hanged Man here, and this is all about gaining a new perspective. It's about surrender, and it can also talk about divine timing. So pile 1, something you once viewed as a setback is now transforming into alignment. You are about to receive blessings that arrive after you surrendered the need to control how and when they show up. So this is a shift from pushing to allowing. So for example, maybe some of you here experience a pause, like a job delay or a creative plateau that leads you to an insight about your next best move, and that turns a delay into redirection. Maybe some of you here release a project or a relationship that no longer fits, and immediately new energy or opportunities appear. Maybe some of you here see your value differently. Maybe you realize that you were undercharging or you were undervaluing yourself, and this new self-view of yourself increases your income or your influence. We also have the Monarch, and so this is all about leadership. It's about sovereignty, it's about structure and recognition. This is the blessing of stability and authority, pile 1. You are stepping into your role as a leader or an expert or someone who commands respect. I feel like this brings support from people who value your wisdom and your dependability and that calm confidence that you naturally exude. So maybe some of you here receive a promotion or a leadership role, or you're trusted with greater responsibility in your work. Maybe some of you here gain financial or emotional stability. Maybe it looks like clients or team members or loved ones who can rely on your consistency. Maybe some of you here attract opportunities that require you to make executive decisions or to set the tone in some way, like launching your own brand or managing others or teaching. Next, I want to talk about the block that you're releasing. Let's talk about what belief, fear, or habit is shifting you so that you can receive fully. We have the Knight of Swords in reverse here, and this can talk about being on overdrive, can talk about impulsive energy and feeling mentally burnt out. So maybe some of you here are releasing the tendency to rush into things or to overanalyze every move. When the Knight of Swords shows up in reverse, it can symbolize having mental clutter or impatience or trying to prove yourself. So I feel like you're now learning that you don't need to chase, because what's yours will come naturally when you're centered. So maybe some of you here stop constantly checking analytics or comparing yourself or overworking just to get ahead. Or maybe some of you here recognize that saying yes to everything spreads your energy too thin, so you focus on fewer aligned actions that actually yield better results for you. Maybe some of you here let go of perfectionism or self-criticism, and you embrace the idea that slowing down actually improves your clarity and your outcomes. We also have Moonrise, cleansing. So this is all about emotional release. It's about spiritual renewal, and it can also talk about having this gentle reset. This card is inviting you to purify physically, mentally, and emotionally. This is all about clearing that energetic residue of old fears or maybe attachments so that your abundance has space to land. You are cleansing not just clutter, but expectations and noise. I just got this image of like an airplane trying to land in like a very snowy place, but they can't land without like clearing the runway, right? Clearing the path, having like a landing pad or a space. So think of you releasing the old as something that's necessary to create space for your new blessings to come on in. Maybe some of you here start a cleansing ritual, like journaling or decluttering your workspace or ending draining commitments, and you feel instantly lighter. Maybe some of you here forgive yourself or others, where you let go of old disappointments that you feel blocked your emotional flow. Or maybe some of you here create new routines that prioritize that feeling of being calm, like having an evening bath or taking time intentionally off of social media, or energy clearing, doing Reiki. And with doing all of that, maybe some of you here start to notice that inspiration returning. Next, I would love to talk about how it all unfolds. Let's talk about your divine timing and guidance. We have the King of Wands here. So this is all about being a visionary leader. It's also about having charisma and this creative mastery. So pile one, you are going to rise into this full ownership of your gifts. And I think that you're going to transform ideas into impact, because you know how to lead with passion, you know how to inspire others, and you know when to act boldly. I feel like this is what marks your next phase. You're going to be stepping up, you're going to be seen, and I feel like you're going to be monetizing or expanding your influence. So maybe some of you here confidently launch a new offer or business or brand direction that positions you as an authority in your field. Or maybe some of you here will be invited to lead or mentor others based on your past consistency and your results. Or maybe some of you here start receiving more recognition and income because you finally own your expertise and your value without hesitation. We also have third house communication. So this is all about, again, visibility, social connections, networking, and having this clear message to share. So again, pile one, you are meant to share your story. And with the third house here, this emphasizes your words, platforms, and your relationships. It's how your blessings are going to multiply, and communication is going to be your bridge to more opportunities and to more income. So maybe some of you here expand through podcasting or teaching or content creation, and so your message resonates and attracts your audience. Or maybe some of you here network or collaborate with others who open doors for you, like an interview or a feature or an introduction that leads you to something major. Maybe some of you here refine how you speak about your goals. Maybe you have more clarity in your bios or your pitches or your conversations, and it magnetizes aligned opportunities. Let's get some additional info here. We have a crystal card, and this is hematite, one of my personal favorite crystals. I love hematite. So hematite, what it is. Hematite is a metallic charcoal that takes its name from the Greek word blood. Like blood, it's full of iron. And like blood, hematite moves the good to where you need it and takes the bad away from where you don't. Who needs it? Anyone stagnating or spun out on something, like a new crush or a lifelong existential dilemma. Where to put it? Wherever you are when you realize it's time to come back to Earth. And when to use it, when you feel stuck, when it's that moon time of the month, when you want to pull energy from the earth below and use it to make big things happen, aligned to your wholeness. For any of you out there who consider yourselves to be highly sensitive people, HSPs, empaths, psychics, intuitives, people who are sensitive to energy, hematite is such a great stone, such a grounding stone. It's made the world of a difference in my life. So just want to put that out there. But I just think that this is all about, again, grounding, protection, having that embodiment, and being practical. I think that hematite here is rooting your receiving energy into physical form. It's reminding you that abundance requires structure and not just spiritual openness. I think that this is your reminder to stay balanced and present so that your blessings have a stable foundation. Maybe some of you here implement grounding rituals like walking or planning or budgeting that will help you sustain what's flowing in. Or maybe some of you here protect your energy from overcommitment and you say no when it's needed so that you can nurture what you've built. I can also see some of you here combining your intuition with some sort of tangible action like writing the business plan or setting up the systems or organizing your finances so that you can match your new level. Let's get some astro dice here. Let's get more info for pile 1. We have Pluto in the 11th house. Pile 1, you are magnetizing powerful alliances, financial opportunities through networks, and support from influential or like-minded groups. I feel like you're going to attract transformation through community. Maybe some of you here have a collaboration or a friendship that brings you unexpected money or exposure. Maybe some of you here join or start a group that reshapes your career or your finances. Or maybe for some of you here, an old connection resurfaces with a powerful offer. Or maybe for some of you here, your influence online or in your community grows and it brings you passive income or some sort of patronage. So the key thing here to remember is that you will receive through shared power and teamwork and social evolution, not isolation. Thank you so much, friends. This is your reminder. You don't have to chase what's already yours. The energy of receiving is about allowing. Comment your pile below and what resonated most. You know, I love chatting with you friends in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who appreciates practical spiritual guidance like this. If you feel called, I've also got my angel number guide, private readings, online shop, and podcast all linked for you below in the description of this video. I'm deeply honored to be connected with each and every one of you friends here. Lots of love, Tidal fam. I will see you on the next video. Be sure to check out my channel page here on YouTube at Tidal Tarot. I have a playlist full of pick a card readings for you to explore. Until next time, friends, love y'all. Thank you. Bye. Hi, pile 2. Hey, friends. Welcome to your reading. First, let's talk about what you've already given. Let's talk about the investment you've already made. We have the 2 of Swords here, and this talks about discernment. It can also talk about restraint, getting this inner equilibrium, and it can also talk about thoughtful decision making, like maybe you're between 2 choices. So pile 2, you've probably invested in mental balance and having this strategic patience. Maybe some of you here have gone through times of uncertainty and you held steady, and maybe you refused to rush and you chose to think critically before you acted. And I feel like this investment of calm objectivity is now paying off. So maybe some of you here took time to weigh options carefully before making a financial or a career decision, and you made sure that your next move was aligned instead of reactive. Or maybe some of you here learned to trust your intuition through silence, where you turned down the noise or the advice that was coming your way that didn't fit you. I can also see some of you here having to protect your peace by staying neutral, and like maybe it's workplace politics or maybe it's family drama. And I think that it's earned you a lot of respect for your emotional intelligence. And it's not necessarily saying that like you can't voice your opinions or your needs or your concerns, but I feel like you have this really good discernment between what's worth it, what deserves your energy and attention, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about here. We also have the strategist, Mars, and this one says every vision has a plan. So this is all about structure, it's about having foresight, and it's about intentional action. So I think that you've already put in the work of creating a game plan for your dreams. This isn't just manifestation energy, it's execution. And Mars here honors that initiative and that discipline and that ability to turn vague desires into achievable steps. So maybe some of you here have been creating systems, things like budgets, schedules, or long-term strategies that make your financial or your creative goals realistic. Maybe some of you here have built consistency in your habits, maybe through content or networking or health, and that's setting up sustainable success for you. Maybe some of you here have taken ownership of your goals, where you've chosen strategy over luck and structure over chaos, and that's magnetizing dependable support for you now. Next, let's talk about what's ready to flow in. We'll talk about the tangible blessings. We have the Nine of Cups here, and this is all about fulfillment. It's about emotional satisfaction, feeling content, and having your wishes granted. So your reward is, I think, both emotional and material gratification. You are entering a time where your effort feels worth it. You're not scrambling, you're savoring, and I think that the blessings here are personal victories. And I think that these are going to be visible results that feel both earned and pleasurable. Maybe some of you here receive an opportunity like a new client or an offer or a financial payout that feels tailor-made for you and it validates your patience. Or maybe some of you here see your self-worth reflected in external results like more ease with money or better relationships or acknowledgement for your expertise. I can also see some of you here achieving something that like maybe you quietly desired, like a milestone or a trip or a purchase or some sort of creative goal that feels like a dream come true. We also have sacred stillness. So this is about having this like peaceful sense of receptivity and having faith in divine timing and feeling this inner contentment. I think that your blessings are going to arrive through non-doing, and you actually receive more when you're present and calm and spiritually connected. The universe here is affirming that stillness can be productive, and it's that magnetism that pulls in what frantic action cannot. So maybe some of you here take time off or slow your pace, and a long-awaited message or a client or an offer arrives naturally. Or maybe some of you here find joy in simplicity, things like meditation, nature, maybe quiet mornings, and this inner peace helps you to make better, more prosperous decisions. Maybe some of you here stop chasing validation or outcomes, and instead you start to receive spontaneous gifts or help because your energy is serene and open. Next, let's talk about the block that you're releasing. We'll talk about what belief, fear, or habit is shifting so that you can receive fully. We have the Three of Wands in reverse here, and this could talk about delays, maybe this feeling of like impatience, or maybe feeling like your vision could be a little broader, or even like maybe having this fear of expansion. So maybe some of you here are releasing frustration around timing and progress. Maybe this shows moments when you've doubted whether your work would pay off, or maybe when you felt stuck waiting for something big. So pile 2, you are learning to stop measuring your worth by visible results. I think that some of you here stop second guessing your goals just because growth isn't instant, and you realize that slow momentum is still progress and it's still moving the needle forward toward your goals. Maybe some of you here stop comparing your journey to others, and instead you trust your unique timeline. Maybe some of you here expand beyond comfort zones. Maybe you reach new audiences or markets after recognizing that having that fear of failure was keeping you small. We also have Exalted Moon, self-regulation. So this is all about emotional mastery. You could talk about self-soothing and having this intuitive rhythm. So with this, I feel like you're learning to regulate your emotional tides so that you can stay open to abundance without burnout or reactivity. This is the upgrade from reacting to responding. It's all about emotional sovereignty, and I feel like your peace no longer depends on your circumstances. So maybe some of you here learn to pause before reacting to triggers, things like emails or rejection or uncertainty, and you maintain that inner composure and that confidence. Maybe some of you here create healthy coping tools, things like journaling, breath work, or self-talk, and this keeps you steady during challenges. Maybe some of you here no longer let other people's moods or timelines throw you off course. I think that this is you remaining grounded, and this is what keeps the opportunities flowing your way. Next, let's talk about how it all unfolds. We'll talk about the divine timing and guidance here for you. So we have the Queen of Swords, and this talks about mental clarity. It can talk about having wise boundaries and being decisive in your communication. It can also talk about being logical as well. And so I feel like this represents your evolution into clarity and confidence and authority. Pile 2, you have learned from the past, and now you'll make choices that are sharp and informed and aligned. I think that the universe is going to mirror that mental precision with opportunities that match your standards. So for example, maybe some of you here make a clear, empowered decision, like quitting a draining job or adjusting your rates or pivoting your business, and it brings immediate relief and new alignment. Or maybe you speak up for yourself professionally or personally, and that communication unlocks respect or trust or new clients. Maybe some of you here refine your message or your bio or your marketing language, and it attracts this audience that truly fits your purpose. We also have Capricorn, achieve. So this is all about ambition. It's about structure, mastery, and reputation. So your blessings are going to unfold through steady progress and visible accomplishment. This energy is something that rewards consistency and professionalism. And so with this, I feel like the universe is granting you long-term success, not just fleeting luck, because you are someone who has proven their dedication. So maybe some of you here gain recognition or a title upgrade, something like a promotion or a credential or a certification that solidifies your professional credibility. Maybe some of you here commit to a structured routine that compounds results, like daily discipline that leads to measurable gains. Or maybe some of you here finally see the payoff of years of groundwork. Or maybe this helps to build your reputation, or it gives you referrals, or it brings in this stable income that starts helping you to build momentum. Let's get some additional info here. We have a crystal card, and this is kunzite. And so let's read about kunzite here. What it is, it's a high vibe, lithium infused lilac pink stone that glows with an energy that could be described in a word as cuddly. Who needs it? Anyone with a heavy heart about something, collectors of good vibrations. Where to put it? Place it on your heart and breathe deeply of kunzite's cotton candy essence, or hold it in your left hand and whisper sweet nothings to yourself. When to use it? Call on kunzite after a breakup or a major disappointment, or when you're beating yourself up about something. You don't need permission to be here. You belong. If you forget that, pause and tap into kunzite's pink prismatic vibration and let love rule. Open up your love channel. So this is all about heart-centered receptivity. It's about emotional healing and open trust. Kunzite as a stone teaches us that receiving isn't only about action, it's about vulnerability, and it's about joy. And this is something that opens the heart to love and gratitude and gentle self-acceptance. And it reminds us that our soft side is also magnetic. So maybe some of you here allow yourself to ask for and receive help without guilt, and you realize that support deepens your strength. Maybe some of you here embrace pleasure, like maybe you take more time for rest, or you celebrate your wins, or you treat yourself, which raises your frequency for abundance. Maybe some of you here attract kindness and generosity because you lead with compassion and gratitude instead of pressure or self-criticism. Let's get some astro dice for pile 2. We have Mars in the 3rd house. So you are attracting momentum and bold ideas and fast-moving opportunities through communication and your local connections. Maybe a pitch or a post or a message will lead you to a new client or a job. Maybe you taking a short trip or a meeting will open money doors. Maybe for some of you here, speaking or teaching or content creation is something that's going to bring you income. Or maybe some sort of sibling or neighbor collaboration is something that will turn profitable. I think that the key here is that you will receive by acting on your ideas quickly and speaking up with confidence, because pile 2, your words are your power right now. Thank you so much, friends. This is your reminder that you don't have to chase what's already yours. The energy of receiving is all about allowing. Comment your pile below and what resonated most. You know I love chatting with you friends in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who appreciates practical spiritual guidance like this. If you feel called, I've also got my free angel number guide, my private readings, my online shop, and my podcast all linked for you below in the description of this video. I'm deeply honored to be connected with each and every one of you friends here. Lots of love, Tidal fam. I will see you on the next video. And be sure to check out my channel page here on YouTube, Tidal Tarot, where I've got a playlist full of pick a card readings for you to explore. Have a beautiful day. Love you, friends. Bye. Hi, pile 3. Hey, friends. Welcome to your reading. Let's first talk about what you've already given. We'll talk about the investment you've already made. We have the 4 of Pentacles here, and this is all about stability, restraint. It can talk about resourcefulness and having boundaries around security. So I feel like many of you here have already given this immense effort toward protecting what you've already built. I think that this is the card that shows your discipline. I think that many of you here have saved, you've held steady, and you've been mindful of your energy or your finances. And so you've invested by creating a safe foundation, even when that meant saying no or going without for a while. Maybe some of you here have been really careful with your money. Maybe you've been budgeting, paying down debt, or resisting that impulse to, or maybe you've been resisting impulse spending to set yourself up for something bigger. Maybe some of you here have created healthy boundaries with time or energy, and you've learned when to preserve your resources instead of overextending. Maybe some of you here have stayed committed to your long-term goals, even through scarcity or uncertainty, and you've proved your resilience and your self-control. We also have the administrator, Saturn, and this one says, I walk with a foot in both the earthly and spiritual worlds. Pile 3, you are naturally practical, grounded, persevering, wise, dedicated, strong, purposeful, leading, organized, structured, confident, strategic, assertive, disciplined, humanistic, and moral. So again, this is all about discipline. This is about responsibility, structure, and this spiritual stewardship. I feel like you've already proven that you can handle responsibility with grace. This Saturn energy here means that you've carried a lot, whether this is family or finances or business duties, while still maintaining your spiritual awareness. And so maybe you've given through your reliability and your willingness to uphold order amidst chaos. Maybe some of you here have acted as the anchor for others, where you've organized and planned or kept things running smoothly at home or at work. Or maybe you've taken on consistent habits like saving or scheduling or planning that have strengthened your long-term potential. Maybe some of you here have merged your practical decisions with faith while you balance your spiritual values with real-world demands like trusting timing while still doing your part. Next, let's talk about what's ready to flow in. We'll talk about the tangible blessings. We have the Two of Pentacles here, and this talks about balance, flexibility, things like adaptability, and this flow between multiple priorities. So the blessings flowing in are balance, financial movement, and adaptability. You are learning to juggle multiple sources of income and interest or roles with ease. And so this is the tangible shift from holding tight to moving fluidly. Maybe some of you here attract new income streams or side opportunities that create more financial flexibility. Maybe some of you here manage your time better, where you find a rhythm between work and family and personal projects that actually feel sustainable. Maybe some of you here receive an offer that helps you transition, like a part-time role or a freelance project that bridges one phase to the next. We also have the Student. So this is all about learning, openness, humility, and having this growth mindset. Pile 3, you're about to receive opportunities that teach and expand you. I feel like the Student energy invites new training, maybe collaboration or skills that could lead you to your future abundance. And so I think that the blessings here are the foundations of mastery. Maybe some of you here enroll in a course or a mentorship or a certification that elevates your earning potential. Maybe some of you here start learning a new system or a software that makes your work more efficient and profitable. Maybe some of you here meet someone who becomes an informal mentor, where you offer insights that change your career or your business trajectory. Maybe you meet someone who becomes your informal mentor and they give you these insights and these pearls of wisdom that change your career or your business trajectory. Next, let's talk about the block that you're releasing. We'll talk about what belief, fear, or habit is shifting so that you can receive fully. We have the Knight of Pentacles here. So this talks about routine, can also talk about over responsibility in this case, and this cautious persistence. And so maybe some of you here are releasing the tendency to overwork or micromanage or to rely too heavily on routine. I think that while the Knight is loyal and consistent, the Knight can also get stuck in maintenance mode. So maybe you're learning to trust flexibility and to allow inspired movement instead of only predictable effort. Maybe some of you here will loosen up on some rigid work habits that you've been feeling like you wanted to put a stop to, and this invites more creativity or collaboration into your process. Maybe some of you here stop believing that success can only come through constant hard work, and you begin to value rest and delegation. Maybe some of you here release guilt around taking breaks, and you realize that productivity doesn't always have to equal worth. We also have Moon Magic, transformation. So this is all about renewal, can talk about intuitive flow and emotional evolution. So this is the Alchemy card. You are shedding old cycles of self-limitation and embracing emotional renewal. I think that this is going to transform your relationship with security, and you're learning that safety can come through flow and not just control. Maybe some of you here experience an emotional breakthrough and you realize that a fear of instability was blocking your creative expansion. Or maybe some of you here adopt a new self-care or spiritual practice that helps you release past worries and trust cycles of change. Or maybe some of you here feel a renewed connection to your intuition, where you make choices that feel right even when your logic tells you otherwise. Next, let's talk about how this is all going to unfold. We'll talk about divine timing and guidance. We have the Four of Wands in reverse here. So this can talk about redefining what stability means to you. It can also talk about having this homecoming to the self. And it can also talk about restructuring your foundation in some way. So the unfolding process may involve some sort of rebuilding or redefining what home and success means to you. I think that things like celebration and belonging will arrive once you let go of any sort of outdated expectations or environments that no longer fit your energy. So for example, maybe you make changes to your living situation. Maybe you end up moving or renovating or reorganizing your home to better reflect your current identity. Maybe you decide to celebrate smaller wins instead of waiting for perfect milestones. Or maybe you leave or reconfigure some sort of group dynamic, whether this is with a friend or a family or a team that doesn't necessarily align with your peace anymore, and this creates more authentic belonging for you. We also have fourth house, home. So this is all about your emotional roots. It's about sanctuary, your personal security, and it can also talk about your ancestry. So you are being guided to nurture your foundation, whether this is your physical or maybe your emotional home. Divine timing is going to bring blessings that are tied to comfort and family healing and long-term stability. So maybe some of you here find or create a living space that feels peaceful and supportive, which allows creativity and focus to thrive. Maybe some of you here are working on healing generational money or security patterns where you're learning to feel safe around earning or resting or receiving. Maybe some of you here will strengthen bonds with family or chosen family who really do uplift your sense of belonging and emotional grounding. We also have a crystal card here. Let's get some additional info. This is muscovite. So muscovite. What it is. Heady muscovite, also known as common mica, acts as a navigation tool for explorers of the supernatural and synchronistic. Who needs it? The pragmatic, empirical, reasonable, anyone who has ever asked themselves, how did I not see that coming? Where to put it? Against your forehead while peering into the future. When to use it? When I want to believe is your MO, when you feel like you've been missing the signs, when you have a problem logic won't solve, when you've blown the lid off with too much meditation, microdosing, or moldavite and need to get a grip. And the affirmation on the bottom says, develop your foresight. So again, this is all about clarity. It's about emotional reflection and having this higher understanding. Muscovite as a stone supports self-awareness and gentle transition. It's something that can help you see your growth clearly without judgment, and it also invites perspective in so that you can expand without losing your grounding. So for example, maybe some of you here take a step back from your schedule or your finances to reassess what truly matters to you, and you realize that you're more stable than you thought you were. Maybe some of you here engage in journaling or meditation that helps you to connect the dots between your past patterns and your present opportunities. Or maybe some of you here simplify your environment where you declutter or you reorganize so that you can clear space for fresh and creative financial flow. Let's get some astro dice here for you. Let's get more info for pile 3. Okay, oh, not that. We have Saturn in the 9th house. So pile 3, you are receiving long-term rewards from disciplined learning, things like faith and teaching what you know. I think that some of you here could be completing a course or a certification that boosts your income or your credibility. Maybe some of you here will be publishing, teaching, or mentoring, and this becomes some sort of stable income source for you. I can also see some of you traveling or having some sort of cultural experience that leads you to some serious career growth. And I also think that some sort of belief is going to shift within you and it's going to help you manifest lasting success. So the key here is that you will receive through some sort of commitment to mastery, this slow, steady effort toward a higher purpose is something that's going to pay off for you. Thank you so much, friends. This is your reminder that you don't have to chase what's already yours. The energy of receiving is all about allowing. Comment your pile below on what resonated most. I love chatting with you friends in the comments. Like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who appreciates practical spiritual guidance like this. If you feel called, I've also got my angel number guide, private readings, online shop, and podcast all linked free below in the description of this video. I'm always so deeply honored to be connected with each and every one of you friends here. Lots of love, Tidal fam. If you feel called to check out my channel page here on YouTube, Tidal Tarot, I've got a bunch of pick a card readings for you to explore. Thanks, friends. Have a beautiful day. Bye. Hi, Pile 4. Hey, friends. Welcome to your reading. Let's first talk about what you've already given. We'll talk about the investment that you've already made. We have the King of Swords in reverse. And with this, I feel like you've invested your mental energy, your intellect, and leadership, but in ways that might have drained you through overthinking or overanalyzing or trying to always be the smart one in the room or the one who's got it together. Maybe some of you here have likely learned how to communicate ideas effectively, but now you're being called to loosen your grip and to lead from intuition and not just logic. So for example, maybe you've poured hours into structuring your business or your creative projects, but maybe you've held back from launching because you kept editing or doubting your expertise. Or maybe you've been the advisor for others. Maybe you've helped people to make plans or decisions, and now it's your turn to trust your own ideas and to take action. I think that you've also learned the cost of perfectionism or maybe even control in leadership, and maybe now you're shifting toward more authentic expression instead of feeling pressured to use intellectual dominance or things like that. Or maybe some of you here have learned the cost of perfectionism or control, and now you're shifting toward a more authentic expression of yourself. We also have the Muse, Venus, and this one says, I inspire and I am inspired. So Pile 4, you are naturally intuitive, inspired, idealistic, creative, divinely connected, passionate, emotional, and sensitive. So I feel like you've already given beauty and creativity and emotional resonance to the world, whether this is through art or content creation or your presence or your relationships. Pile 4, I feel like you've been the one to uplift others by showing them what's possible or by turning emotion into art. Maybe some of you here have built an aesthetic brand or a YouTube channel or a social media space that uplifts people through your storytelling or your visuals or your vulnerability. Maybe some of you here have inspired others with your ability to find grace and beauty even in tough moments. Maybe this is as a parent or a healer or a creative too. Or maybe some of you here have served as a muse for others' ideas or confidence, and you've shown people that softness and creativity can both be very powerful currencies. Let's talk about what is ready to flow in for you. Let's talk about the tangible blessings. We have the Knight of Cups here, and this can talk about a dream opportunity that speaks to your heart that's approaching for you. I think that this is something that's both like emotionally fulfilling and profitable. So this could be an invitation, maybe a collaboration, or an offer that aligns with your creative or your spiritual gifts. For example, maybe some of you here get a heartfelt message or a DM that leads to a paid creative partnership or a collaboration. Or maybe some of you here get invited to speak or write or share your story publicly, and it connects you to your ideal audience or clients. Maybe some of you here have a romantic or an emotionally supportive person who enters your life and they motivate you to follow a passion-based career path. Or for those of you who are already in a partnership, maybe this is reflective of either you showing up for yourself and supporting yourself wholeheartedly, or maybe you have a supportive partner that does this for you as well. We also have financial flow. Oh, interesting. I also just got that like maybe some of you here have a partner who is also financially supportive or like will be financially supportive or helpful in some way. We also have financial flow. And so this one is all about money being ready to move through you rather than, stagnating. So you have learned how to receive financially by letting value circulate. This is you letting go of that energy of clinging or self-sabotage when abundance arrives. Like maybe some of you here receive consistent income from multiple sources like content creation, and then you have freelance and referrals. After shifting your mindset from scarcity to trust, you see how beautifully abundant your life truly is. Now, maybe some of you here have a long delayed payment or a refund suddenly come through once you start treating yourself with more generosity. Like maybe you buy yourself something small, or you donate, or you spend in a way that means something to you. Maybe some of you here find yourself saying yes to financial opportunities that once intimidated you, like raising your rates or charging what you're worth. Next, let's talk about the block that you're releasing. Let's talk about what belief, fear, or habit is shifting so that you can receive fully. We have the Ten of Pentacles here, and with this, I feel like you're releasing outdated beliefs about success. Maybe some of you here are letting go of the belief that abundance must come through legacy or family approval or traditional paths. Maybe you're realizing that your version of prosperity doesn't have to mirror what you were taught. Like maybe you stop chasing the perfect job title or the traditional success model because it never felt aligned with you. Or maybe some of you here no longer measure your worth by external validation, and maybe that was like family or money or social status. Maybe you're going to leave that in the past. Maybe some of you here detach from generational scarcity patterns by creating your own rituals around earning and saving and spending. We also have domicile moon here, abundance. So you are returning to emotional safety in some way, pile 4. I think that you're allowing yourself to feel at home in abundance. This is kind of like representative and symbolic of you having this inner world that's becoming a more fertile ground for prosperity. So you're no longer afraid to want more or to feel deserving of softness and luxury. I think that some of you here could be redecorating or energetically cleansing your space, and maybe suddenly opportunities begin to flow in. I can see some of you here beginning to treat rest and self-care and emotional nourishment as productivity, and maybe you notice that clients and sales or inspiration increase. I think that many of you here are also going to stop apologizing for wanting a beautiful, comfortable lifestyle. Next, let's talk about how it all unfolds. We'll talk about divine timing and any guidance here for you. We have the Empress in reverse here, and so I feel like many of you here are learning to receive without overgiving. Maybe some of you here have been nurturing everybody else's dreams before your own. And so now divine timing is guiding you to refill your own cup and to create for yourself first. So maybe your abundance will multiply once you stop self-abandoning for others. Maybe some of you here take time away from caretaking or unpaid emotional labor to focus on your business or your art. Maybe some of you here finally launch or promote something that's been gestating for months without waiting for external approval. Maybe some of you here begin attracting clients or partners who value your energy rather than draining it. We also have Taurus, cultivate. So I think that your success is going to unfold gradually through grounded, consistent action. You are entering a season of steady manifestation, and so I feel like slow growth is something that lasts. So think sustainability and not overnight wins. Maybe some of you commit to a stable schedule for creating or managing money, things like weekly uploads or monthly goals. Maybe some of you here develop a product or a course or a creative offering that continues to generate passive income. Maybe some of you here start seeing tangible results from habits that you've been quietly nurturing, like networking or budgeting or content batching. Let's get some additional info here. We have a crystal card, and this is Amber. I keep hearing that song Amber by 311. For any of you who feel called to check that song out, or you already know the song, maybe there's a message for you in that song related to this topic. So amber, what it is. Of way ancient Oregon, amber is not a rock but a fossilized tree resin. With a sugar-sweet energy telegraphed by its golden honey and maple syrup hues, amber promotes a feeling of warmth and well-being from first blush. And armchair paleontologists love the dinosaur-era bugs, aka inclusions, sometimes caught inside. Who needs it? Tree people, old souls, anyone gearing up for a long, dark winter. Where to put it? Any room you want to convert into a sunroom. When to use it? When you need a metaphysical hug from the universe, call on Amber's cuddly electric blanket vibes and cozy up. And the affirmation here is to recharge your good vibes. So again, amber symbolizes things like warmth, vitality, and also this ancient protection. I feel like this is a reminder that you magnetize abundance when you stay authentic and radiant. And pile 4, your energy itself becomes the currency. Maybe some of you here start to wear amber, or maybe you start to work with this stone or to work with golden tones, and this helps you to feel confident while, like for example, maybe you're on camera or maybe during, meetings. Maybe some of you here begin to attract like-minded, loyal clients or collaborators who resonate with your natural glow. Or maybe some of you here heal your energy body by releasing old wounds around visibility or realizing that shining brightly doesn't make you too much. Let's get some astro dice. Let's find out more info for pile 4. We have the North Node in the 11th house. You are meant to receive abundance and allies and purpose through things like community and this collective vision. Maybe some of you here join a group or an online community that opens new income paths. Or maybe you start to collaborate instead of compete, and this leads you to major breakthroughs. Or maybe some of you here have an audience or followers that grow and they end up supporting your goals. Or maybe some of you here align with people who share your mission and elevate you. And I just think that the key here is to receive by networking or collaborating or contributing to something bigger than yourself, because your destiny is going to unfold through connection, pile 4. So thank you so much, friends. This is your reminder that you don't have to chase what's already yours. The energy of receiving is about allowing. Comment your pile below and what resonated most. You know I love chatting with you friends in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who appreciates practical spiritual guidance like this. And if you feel called, I've got my angel number guide, my private readings, online shop, and podcast all linked for you below in the description of this video. I'm deeply honored to be connected with each and every one of you friends here. Lots of love, Tidal fam. I will see you on the next video. Be sure to check out my channel playlist here on YouTube at Tidal Tarot. I've got a bunch of different pick a card readings for you to explore. Until next time, have a beautiful day. Love you, friends. Bye.